इसमें आ ही रहा बताओ
आ रहा है
इसमें नहीं आ
कपड़ा
रहा
इमीडिएट एक्सेस
इनको यहाँ ले लो इनको यहाँ ले लो स्टार्ट करवा देगा Greetings from Team IMA, eMedinexus, our webcast partner, Heartcare Foundation of India and Librate. Welcome to our Team IMA Digital IMA weekly show, a weekly webcast which is every Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. Today is 31st of December. Today is 31st of December, so Happy New Year to everybody in advance. And we always, on 31st of December, we always say one thing, knowingly or unknowingly, in our action, speech or thought, or in our webcast, if any time in the last 1 year we have hurt your consciousness, please forgive us. Happy New Year. Today's topic will be pertaining to our 31st, and that's alcohol. Is there something like social drinking? On 31st of December, everybody wants to drink, everybody wants to marry, everybody wants to believe that alcohol is good for health, but is there a safe limit for India? That is going to be our subject for the next 45 to 60 minutes. Why this question is important is because the Western literature always say alcohol is good. And there is no definite Indian literature. All the literature comes is for the heart. So the heart part I will cover. And for the liver part I have with me Dr. Rajiv Khosla. He is a senior consultant gastroenterologist, and he is attached to Max, he was attached to Fortis Scots, he was in Moolchand earlier. And he is not only a good gastroenterologist, he is a good friend also. And we will try to spend time for the next 45 minutes about is there a safe limit. We are not talking about alcohol detoxification. We are not talking about alcohol toxicity. We are not talking about alcohol hepatitis. We are basically talking about is there a safe limit for alcohol? Is there any study available? And if yes, what is the IMA stand? We were in Norway last year, and in Norway there was a very clear-cut alcohol policy. If you go to a restaurant, they will not give you more than 30 ml at one time, and they will not give you more than 60 ml. May what happen? You cannot buy. Very clearly, if you are adult, they will serve you one peg of alcohol, and after that you can maximum go for one more refill. Is that policy applicable only in Norway? Should it be applicable to in India? When we are talking about Kejriwal rule of alternate odd and even, should this be applied to alcohol also? Alternate Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, and so whatever. Should it apply to that also? We will try to cover. Now, this is being live on our IMA website, and this is also live on eMedinexus.com. If you go to eMedinexus.com, you will get something like this, and you will get a live coverage of what we are talking, and it is in the form of a Facebook. Whatever we are discussing in between, I will be putting a summary out of it, and also You can ask your questions directly, feed in, and we will raise that question and we will answer on the spot. So welcome Rajiv.
Thank you.
With us.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to everybody with that. So, first of all question, do you believe in social drinking? Do you socially drink?
Do I socially drink? On the rare occasions, yes. But I certainly, what does social drinking mean? Social drinking could have two connotations. One is drinking only in the presence of other people, as opposed to drinking on your own in your own home. Number two is social drinking only at an event in which alcohol is served, as opposed to three of you with your friends going to a pub and drinking there. Now, I would, yes, if there was an event or a function and alcohol was served, I would do that. But because I have seen myself the enormous amount of damage that can be done with alcohol, it is something that does scare me a little bit. And I would certainly never think of drinking alone.
So let us go back to our Vedic sciences. In our Vedic sciences, there is no mention of smoking.
Okay.
Okay. Ram, Ravan, Acha, Bura, Krishna and Kans, good and the bad. None of them drank.
Okay.
None of them smoked.
Yeah.
None of them. All our goddesses, all our Rishi Munis, there is no mention of smoking.
There is not. No.
And it goes back to the history that smoking is only 200-year old.
Yes.
So therefore, in our Vedic sciences, smoking was considered as a poison.
Okay.
Therefore, it was not there.
Yes.
Then in smoking, the smoke leaves are not eaten by insects, birds, and animals.
So they,
except for a tobacco virus.
Oh, I see. So the birds and the animals know there is a poison in it, and therefore they are not taught that. This is a genetically.
Rishi Muni used to say that go to the jungle and watch the animals.
Okay.
Say elephant eats, whatever elephant eats will have anti-diabetic properties.
Nice.
Because in spite of being obese, he doesn't get diabetes. So therefore he says, injure an animal and follow him.
Okay.
Whatever leaves he eats will have a healing property.
Yes, absolutely.
So if an animal is getting fracture, follow him.
Okay.
So they have their natural instinct to find out that because there are no Vedas.
Yes, absolutely.
So they have a natural, and this is how the origin of Vedic sciences is. Alcohol, there is a mention of Sura.
Yes.
In Ayurveda also, in homeopathy also, everywhere there is a mention of Sura.
Yes.
So that means if there is a mention of Sura, there has to be something like a safe limit.
Yes.
There has to be.
Yes.
I was talking to most of my Ayurvedic physician friends. I said, is there mention? They said, yes. Ayurveda is always mentioned in a limited quantity.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that limit from the literature has gone.
Yes.
No, Ayurvedic text, you will not be able to find out what do you mean by the limit. But there is a mention of Sura everywhere. There is a mention of Sura everywhere. Now we don't know whether that mention is for red wine or white wine. What are your views on that?
My views on what specifically? What type of alcohol is?
We are talking about in ancient time.
In ancient times, no. In ancient times, look, it is a fermented drink. It is being fermented from many substances, from potatoes, from molasses, from rice. It doesn't matter. The fact
so the Sura means anything fermented?
No, a fermented drink that has been fermented so that the alcohol percentage of that increases.
So no. What I meant to say, no, dahi is also fermented.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to mention dahi. Dahi is not.
Vinegar is also fermented.
Yes. So it is a fermented drink in which the fermentation process produces alcohol. But the fermentation can be done from many natural items. And your point about smoking was critical. There is no suggestion anywhere, even in the Western medical literature, that smoking even one cigarette a day cannot be harmful. Fact is, it is harmful. There is a lot of suggestion, as you mentioned, that alcohol consumption within limits is probably not harmful. And there are even suggestions that may even be beneficial. That is the point that I think we need to discuss, and that is the point that has generated a lot of controversy because these points are not universally accepted, and the studies on which they were based were not studies that are uniformly applicable to the whole world.
So let me come back. I was talking to the people who manufacture alcohol.
What do they say?
They say that we take red grapes.
Okay.
And red grapes, when we take a juice out of it, it is white.
Yes. Because the juice is actually the red wine comes from the color of the skin of the grape, not from the juice of the grape.
The juice is white.
The juice is always white.
They said that juice and the smashed
the skin
is put into for 2 days.
Yes.
That means the skin has to lie in the juice for the next 2 days,
Yes.
so that the color get absorbed.
Yes, exactly.
And then over a period of time it gets fermented.
Yes.
And its phenolic,
Yes.
the antioxidant value increases. Then it becomes like a red wine.
Yes.
That becomes like a red wine.
Yeah.
So therefore, this says the Petraj is not working properly. Sanjeev,
Yes sir.
Webcast is not working properly.
सर वो उन्होंने पुराना लिंक उठा दिया.
Kindly, Dr. Call, you may have picked up the older version. Kindly pick up the new link. And
Refresh.
otherwise, just go to eMedinexus.com and you should be able to do that with that. Now, okay. Now we have alcohol. Alcohol will have percentage.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Beer will have.
Beer will have anything from say 4.9 to 9.9 on 10%.
So less than 10%.
Less than 10%.
So there will be a light beer and a strong beer.
Yes, in the range of 5 to 10. Yes.
So
Yeah.
light beer and strong beer.
Yes.
Strong beer may say 10%.
Yes.
And light beer say
About
5%.
5%. Yeah.
What about wine?
Wines also have tend to range. I mean, most wines would be in the kind of 7.5-15% range.
So strong beer and wine may have the same effect.
Yes, may have similar.
So
quantities.
most of the people feel that beer is safe.
Yeah,
But then
absolutely.
strong beer
Yes,
may
yes.
be equivalent to a wine.
Absolutely.
And then alcohol will be?
The alcohol percentage also depends on the volume that you drink. You see, if you
No.
drink.
There's always a percentage of
Yeah,
alcohol.
yeah. No, there's also, but the amount of alcohol, the absolute amount of alcohol, which is what causes bodily damage, will depend on
No,
percentage
sorry.
and
When
volume.
I say alcohol means whiskey.
Yeah.
Whiskey will contain.
Whiskey can easily happily go up to 45%.
It's 40. Indian it is 42.8%.
Yeah,
Otherwise
okay.
40%.
Yeah.
So for the purpose of calculation,
Yeah.
whiskey is 40%.
40%. Okay.
Wine is 11%,
Yeah, I can
12%.
get all right. Now,
And beer is 5%.
Yes, all right. As a single number, this is
As a single
correct.
number,
This
beer
correct.
is 5%.
Yes.
Unless you are asking for a strong beer.
Yes,
If you are
yes.
asking for a strong beer, it means alcohol content is
Yes.
more.
Yeah.
So therefore, everybody must remember
Yeah.
not the amount he is drinking,
Yes.
but the amount of alcohol in
Yes.
that alcohol
Yes,
he is drinking.
yes, absolutely.
In that bag he is
Absolutely.
drinking.
Yes, absolutely.
So that he should, suppose he is taking 30 ml of whiskey,
Yeah.
it is 12 gram.
Yes, absolutely. Because
12
it is
ml.
40% of the 30
That
ml.
is 12 ml.
12
Out of
milliliters
30 ml,
yes.
12 ml is
12 ml
alcohol
is pure alcohol.
and 18 ml is water.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
This is how we
Yes,
calculate.
yes.
So now the confusion which comes is everybody talks about a pack.
Yes. Yes.
So we must know the correct definition of a
Yeah.
pack. In India, we have Indian pack and a Patiala pack.
Yes. Well, an Indian peg is traditionally 30 ml.
30 ml.
Yeah, and a Patiala peg is 60 milliliters. But a peg in the US and in Europe they define it sometimes instead of peg they call it a unit. But even this unit is not standard. A US unit and a European unit and a British unit are all different.
Even Japan.
Okay, even in Japan, yes.
So US is 15 gram
Yes, 15 grams of pure alcohol.
pure alcohol.
Yes.
UK is 8 gram.
Okay, which is half, which is an
which is
amazing
half.
difference.
And
Yes.
that's the reason
yes.
in UK they take it is like part of their lunch.
Yes, and also that's the reason why the British Society of Gastroenterology allows 21 units a week for a man, but they allow 21 units of 8 grams alcohol, not 15 gram alcohol. That's the point.
Japan is 20 gram
Oh, wow. Okay.
and India is 10 gram.
Okay.
So therefore it is different. And
Yes,
1
yes.
ml is equal to 0.8 gram
Oh, yes.
for the purpose of
Yes,
calculation.
yeah.
So you have 30 ml,
Yes.
40%,
Yes.
12 ml,
Yes.
multiplied by 0.8
0.8
grams,
mm.
9.8 which is 10 grams.
It is 10 grams. Yeah.
So for purposes in India,
Yeah.
we should define it as 30 ml, 60 ml.
30 ml, 60 ml. 30 ml should
And
be
that's the
considered
reason in
1
India bottles are 180 ml, 750 ml or
Yes.
375 ml.
Yes, yes.
180 ml means 30 into 6
Yes,
pack.
yes, yes. Yeah.
And you have 750 ml means 24 packs,
Yes.
25 packs.
Yeah.
So that means if 750 ml bottle,
Yes.
you should be able to cater to 25 people
Yes.
if they are taking
If
one
they
pack,
one drink each. Yes.
or otherwise half the people.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And the dose of alcohol in women is
The dose of alcohol in women is significantly less.
half
and-
than the men.
Yes, and the reason is this enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase, of which the level in the woman's stomach lining is much less than in a man.
So therefore they should take half the
They
amount
should
of
take
that.
half, or well, some countries say 2/3.
Now I want to come back to spend some time. Yes, these are the
Yes.
figures people should realize.
Yes, that we
So
are talking
for
about one peg in India actually means 10 grams of alcohol.
10 grams.
It does
So
not
now
mean how much
you can
beer.
calculate in beer, red
Yes.
wine,
Yes.
You can do your calculation,
Yes.
find out how much beer is equivalent to that.
Yes, yes,
So let us understand this. 10 grams of alcohol in
Yes.
1 hour is
Yes.
1 pack.
yes.
Is there a safe alcohol limit as far as liver is concerned?
That's a very difficult question. There is a safe alcohol limit which would be 1 unit of metabolism per hour, provided you are beginning with a very healthy liver to begin with. We know there is
1 unit of?
it takes about approximately 1 hour to metabolize 1 unit or 1 drink.
Again, let's talk about 30 ml.
30 ml, 10 grams.
10 grams.
10 grams.
So 10 grams in 1 hour.
Yeah, to metabolize it, it takes about that time. However,
Provided
the liver is essentially healthy.
provided you don't have fatty liver.
Yeah, provided you don't have a diseased liver. Now, when you talk about people
suppose
having diseased liver,
Hep B negative,
yeah,
Hep C negative.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
exactly this. So people, when you say, do you have a diseased liver, they said, no, I don't have hepatitis B, I don't have hepatitis C, I have no liver disease. On the other hand, we know a large percentage of Indians, perhaps even more than half, have fatty liver disease, which is a very significant disease. To the extent, Dr. Agarwal, that if someone were to be offered their liver for a live-related liver transplant, they would be refused to offer their liver if they had fatty liver disease. So a surgeon would refuse to take a liver from a healthy person, knowing that that liver has fat in it, so it may not actually work. Such a person is clearly at higher risk of alcohol-related liver damage than someone who doesn't have it. And because so many Indians have fatty liver disease, I am very concerned about the fact that safe limits for Indians are being used as Western guidelines, which is not correct.
So I'm going to spend more time on fatty liver.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to spend more time. Let me see if there is any question for us. So when you talk about it's working nicely. Okay. So when we talk about fatty liver disease,
Yes,
how will one come to know that one has a fatty liver?
that's a very good question. The answer to
Our,
that is
to cardiologist, it is abdominal circumference.
yes, yes.
In
Well,
abdominal
first one,
circumference.
how do we come to know? Can the patient come to know? The answer is there are no symptoms of fatty liver disease. The signs on examination of fatty liver disease are increased abdominal circumference, increased weight. These are the two primary symptoms. The tests for fatty liver disease would be blood test to see if the liver is working properly or if there is damage, and a simple scan of the liver called an abdominal ultrasound. So this is the standard way, but a patient will not know. Why? That is why it is such a dangerous disease, because like hypertension in many patients, they don't know they have high blood pressure, so they don't get treated. Similarly, patients will not know they have fatty liver disease till you actually look for it.
So AC more than 90 centimeter in men.
In a man or more than 80 centimeters in a lady would be putting them at higher risk of fatty liver disease. It's not proof, but it is a very suggestive factor.
So when we talk about, when you said ultrasound,
Yes.
so if a person has a, so for example, a person's age is 20,
Yeah.
his weight is 50 kg,
Yeah.
and at the age of 30 now he is 10 kg extra.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Well, as we know, and this is we have learned from MetaNews, that you are not allowed to put on more than 5 kgs above the age of 20.
Above the age of 20.
Yes.
Now he has gained weight,
Yes.
and there is abdominal circumference.
Hmm.
If you measure, it is increasing.
Yes.
That means he is developing fatty liver.
Yes. He's developing abdominal obesity,
So
which is
what will be
correlated to
what
fatty
will be
liver.
the first sign of fatty liver
Hmm.
in biochemistry?
The first sign of fatty liver in biochemistry will either be a raised GGTP or slightly raised enzymes, SGOT, SGPTs.
It means what? What is the definition of raised?
The raise means, well, there will be very minimal raises. The upper limit of SGOT, SGPT in many laboratories is 40. The upper limit of GGTP in many laboratories is 50. So I would expect it to go up to say about 75 GGTP, and SGOT, SGPT is less than 100, which means about twice normal, usually not more than
let's
twice
let's take a normal person.
Yeah.
The baseline is
Yeah.
SGOT, SGPT are say 14, 14.
Well, this is actually a very good point.
Now it becomes now 25.
Ideally, if you're talking about liver function tests, and this has been shown in the US in a lovely study, showing that if you take people who are apparently healthy, their SGOT, SGPT is actually less than half the upper limit of normal. So if upper limit is 40, your SGPT should be less than 20. 39 is still within the normal range, but if you follow the 39s, you realize that they get some kind of liver injury 5 years later.
So there is a term called velocity in
Yeah.
PSA.
Yes,
That
yes.
is called
yes.
as PSA velocity.
Yes,
And then they say 0.2 rise every year.
Yeah.
Similarly, there is a creatinine velocity.
Yes, yes.
There's a rise of 0.3 of creatinine every year.
Yes,
Similarly, there is a velocity of sugar.
yes.
70, 80,
Yes.
90. Don't
Yeah.
wait 120.
Yes.
Don't wait it to come
Yes,
to 126.
exactly. Even though 100
So-
is still the limit, if you are gone from 70 to 90, something is happening.
Something is happening.
Yeah.
So why are you waiting for it to develop?
Yes, yes.
Similarly, in SGOT, SGPT.
Yes, yes.
Why shouldn't everybody know is SGOT, SGPT at a particular level, so the age 18?
That's a good question.
Okay.
We don't have these numbers.
And he
but-
should know. He should
Yeah.
just keep it in
Yeah,
knowledge
yeah.
so that he knows he's normal.
Yes.
Suppose
yes.
his normal was 14
Yes.
and now it has become 26.
There
It's
is-
two times.
Yes. And he's still within the limit of normal, but he has doubled. Yes,
Something
yes.
as we talk about normal weight obesity.
Yes, absolutely.
Similarly, you will
Yes.
have a within limit,
Within limit,
raised
yes,
SGOT,
yes,
SGPT.
yes, yes. And this has been shown in hepatitis C very clearly that you have people with less than half SGOT, SGPTs who become twice still within the normal range, but they are actually infected. We have seen this. Yeah.
So one is
Yeah.
that everybody should know his, specifically those I'm
Yes.
talking about in concern to people who like to take social drinking.
Yes, yes.
They should know their numbers.
Yes, absolutely.
So they should know
This is a
SGOT,
very
they
good
should
point.
know SGPT,
And
they
the
should know
velocity of
GT.
increase,
And
yeah.
the velocity of increase.
Yeah.
So instead of asking the doctor, hey,
Yeah.
this is normal,
Yeah.
they should see whether it is
Yes.
same.
Yes. 1 year ago, how much was it?
1 year ago,
Yeah.
suppose it was 15, now it
Yeah.
is 20, next
Yes.
year it is 25,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
something is happening.
Yes, absolutely.
That's one. Second is fatty liver in terms of, is there any standard guidelines for ultrasound fatty liver?
No, there isn't. Unfortunately, it is an objective assessment. Normally, the echo texture of the liver is the same as that of the spleen. If it is brighter than that of the spleen, then you assume it is fatty liver. There are guidelines grading fatty liver from grade 1 to grade 4, depending on whether you can see the hepatic venules, whether you can see the intrahepatic canaliculi. Those are radiological things. But generally, a good radiologist can at least distinguish between mild, moderate, and severe fatty liver disease. But it is a subjective assessment up to a point. It's not a number.
Then what is the number?
We don't have numbers. There are tests called fibroscans which measure fibrous activity in the liver, but that once again doesn't tell you fatty liver disease. The only absolute way to quantify fatty liver is to biopsy people, which is not something that's easy. But for practical purposes, fatty liver diagnosis can be made efficiently and effectively using a simple, cheap, safe ultrasound. And a simple grading like mild, moderate, severe, or even grade 1 to grade 3 or grade 4 can be made. And most radiologists are excellent at doing it. It's
And
not
in this particular situation, the fibroscan will be normal.
The fibroscan is basically measures liver stiffness. So as you keep increasing liver injury, fibroscan measures the replacement of hepatocytes by scar tissue. So a fibroscan really is telling you how far down the road of cirrhosis you are going. So, but the problem with fibroscan is that you can get a very stiff liver and acute viral hepatitis also. So it by itself as a single one-off test, it's not great. But yeah, it tells you if someone's fibroscan is getting more.
Let's say 30% of the population today has a fatty liver.
It is possible, yeah.
Okay. And if you are diabetic also, then
Yes.
you are worse.
Yes.
Now a person with fatty liver,
Yeah.
is there a social safe limit of alcohol?
No, I would be very reluctant. It's called the second hit hypothesis, that you already hit the liver once with whatever metabolic disease caused the liver. The second hit with alcohol or with a hepatotoxic drug is going to have a much greater action than somebody with a healthy liver. I think there should be no safe limit.
So those people who are having fatty liver,
Yes.
even if it is grade 1,
Should avoid alcohol. You should avoid anything that can further damage the liver. I mean, I think conceptually that is a sensible thing to do.
including paracetamol.
Well, including more than 2 grams of paracetamol.
No, the
In
paracetamol,
24 hours.
I'm talking about more than 2 grams one time.
No, more than 2 grams in 24 hours.
Okay,
yeah,
more than
yeah.
2 grams in 24
Yeah.
hours. And
Hmm.
there are people who will take for osteoarthritis every day.
Yes, why keep taking it? Absolutely. There is no great benefit if you don't need it. Yeah, sure. Although paracetamol in safe doses, although you're right, even with bad liver disease, a single tablet of paracetamol can cause problems. That's true.
So as a single tablet of NSAID can precipitate
Yes.
renal failure,
Yes,
in a
yes,
bad liver
yes.
disease, one tablet
Yes,
can cause.
it may. So you need to avoid that. Yes. Now the thing is that this is not uniformly true for every single person with fatty liver disease, but because we don't know how to distinguish between simple fatty liver disease and complicated fatty liver disease without
Okay.
a
I mean,
biopsy.
again, a person has fatty liver disease.
Then I think
He
you
says-
need to be, they must assume that they have a liver injury. To protect themselves from further liver injury, they need to make sure that nothing else that can injure the liver is given to them, whether it's alcohol or medication or any of the other factors that worsen fatty liver disease, which are basically four, which are diabetes, alcohol, overweight, and hyperlipidemia.
Diabetes, overweight.
Diabetes, alcohol, overweight, and hyperlipidemia.
Which hyperlipidemia?
Well, essentially triglyceride LDLs.
So if they have high triglyceride, they are the people who
Yeah.
have. So that means if a person has high TG,
Yes.
also should not take alcohol.
No, if you have high TG with, well, that's a difficult one because a high TG with no evidence of fatty liver disease, you are now pre-fatty liver, like pre-diabetes. And pre-diabetes, you would give them the same instructions. You would tell pre-diabetes to make sure they don't put on weight and they don't,
So therefore, if a person who wants to go for a social drinking,
yes,
I should say your weight should be normal. Your
yes.
abdominal circumference should be normal.
Abdominal circumference should be normal.
Should be normal.
Yes.
Your SGOT velocity should be normal.
Yes.
Okay. Your triglyceride level should be normal.
Yes.
You should not be having a diabetic cardiomyopathy.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
Yes.
there is no damage
Yes,
of
yes.
because if you have a
Yeah.
dilated heart
Yes.
and diabetic cardiomyopathy,
Yeah.
then you are in problem.
Yes.
In that case, you can ask your doctor whether social drinking is allowed or not. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, well, I think as a best case scenario, this is completely correct what you say. How feasible it is, we don't know. But suppose you have somebody who has fatty liver disease, then I think we should be very, very strict because you are actually preventing someone from getting into trouble. I don't know if you're aware, Dr. Agarwal, but if you look at end-stage liver disease, that means liver disease to the point that requires liver transplant. 10 years ago in the US, the commonest causes of end-stage liver disease were things like alcohol, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. Now the commonest cause of end-stage liver disease in the US is fatty liver disease. So fatty liver disease is not a harmless disease, it kills people. And therefore any attempt to reduce that is a very important attempt.
Now, I'll tell you a couple of patients I've been following up.
Yeah.
They had no other risk factors.
Okay.
Normally we say methotrexate is safe.
If the liver is healthy, yes.
No,
Yeah.
normally we say methotrexate is safe in
Yeah.
a healthy individual.
Yes. Yeah.
So I had two people,
Yeah.
both of them were obese,
Yeah.
both of them had pot belly
Okay.
obesity.
Okay. Okay.
They have no diabetes.
Okay.
When they have pot belly obesity means they had fatty liver.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
yeah.
for psoriasis, they were taking methotrexate and they
Okay.
ended up into end-stage liver failure.
Okay. So end up with
Both of them.
And they took appropriate amounts of methotrexate. Did not overdose.
No.
They took the right amount.
Absolutely the right amount. And that too, normally there is a cumulative dose of,
Yes.
it happened much before that.
Yes. Yes.
That means in India, any
That's very
hepatotoxic,
interesting. Okay.
so any hepatotoxic,
Yeah.
you need to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Which also includes anti-tubercular drugs there.
Antitubercular is only for 6 months.
Yes, that's also true. And then that is a life-saving disease.
That's a life-saving
You
disease.
don't have a
Antitubercular is
problem,
only
yeah.
for 6 months.
Yeah,
But then taking long-term anything,
Yes, yes.
so fatty liver now becomes a very, very, very
Yes,
important.
and you are saying that alcohol comes in the same bracket. You are.
Yes, I
Yes.
assume alcohol comes in the same bracket. Why I am asking, why I didn't choose to call a cardiologist but a gastroenterologist is, there is no controversy. There are n number of studies available.
Yes.
There are more than 2,000 studies available that
Yes.
alcohol is good for the heart.
Uh,
Not less, not more.
Yeah, exactly. I think you need to quantify them. Number
Not
one,
less.
what age were these
I
patients?
said not
And
less,
yeah.
not
Yeah,
less, not
yeah,
more.
and you also need amount.
But in India, I say liver is more important than the heart.
And even these studies, Dr. Agarwal, were not done in children. What age were these studies? They were done in older people, many of them.
See, they've done it end stage, they've done it in older people, they've done
Okay.
it in heart attack patients, that's
Okay.
all fine.
Yeah.
But in India, when you are having a fatty liver,
Yeah.
there is no safe
yeah.
limit.
Yeah. These people did not have fatty liver disease.
Patient may be uncomfortable because of pyrexia. Dr. Kaul is asking is about paracetamol. The paracetamol is safe
Yeah.
if it is taken for fever, short term.
Yeah,
They are
you're not
for
using
long
it
term.
every day. Yeah.
What she's talking about is that in a end stage liver disease, paracetamol has to be given.
Okay, a single, I would then be very careful and I would limit the amount to the bare minimum.
I would say with consent.
With consent, yeah. Okay.
You have
That's
to inform the
better.
patient.
Yes,
You have to
yes,
say
yes.
because if the consent is not taken, then
Yeah.
somebody will say that why it was given.
Yes, that's
It
a
has to
good,
be
good
done.
answer.
You have to give
Yeah.
it with a consent.
Yeah, you tell the person this is the data.
Now again, I'm going back to for those where it is not contraindicated.
Yes,
There has to be a safe limit.
yes, yes.
There has to be a
Yeah.
safe limit. Now the medical literature which talks about,
Yeah.
the medical literature which talks about is 6 grams of alcohol.
in
6 grams of alcohol,
Per
which
day.
is 18 ml,
yeah.
will lead to relaxation.
Okay.
The relaxation dose of alcohol
Okay.
is 18 ml.
Is
Of
this
whiskey.
18 ml of whiskey,
6
which
gram.
which is actually less than one peg.
Yes,
Yes.
half a peg.
Half a peg, exactly.
So if you take half a peg,
Yeah.
that is 18 ml of alcohol,
Yeah.
then it will give you a
Mhm.
relaxation.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of, how does alcohol act?
Mhm.
It relaxes you.
Mhm. Yes.
So you are going to a party,
Yeah.
and then you are taking alcohol so
Yeah.
that you can relax.
Yes. Yes.
You can enjoy, you
Yeah.
can talk to people.
Yeah.
More than 8 gram, that is 18 ml,
Yes.
आपको चढ़ जाएगी.
Yes.
That means you are, because normally you say it takes 30 ml to get metabolized
Yes.
in 1 hour.
Yes. Yes. So you are
So,
going to be. It is going to be in your bloodstream.
You
still.
say that 30
Yeah.
gram, 30
Yeah.
ml, you
Yeah.
should not drive for 1 hour.
Yes. Exactly.
That means
Yeah.
30 ml.
Yes.
That means 30 ml is causing you driving unsafe for the
Yes.
first hour.
For 1 hour. Yes. Absolutely.
Therefore, 18 ml
Yeah. Yes.
is not that dose.
Yes.
That
yes.
means if I'm taking 18 ml, I can drive right away.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if there's proof of that, but yeah, theoretically,
So,
okay.
so
Yeah.
theoretically,
Yeah.
so 18 ml of the
Yes.
dose
Yeah.
is the relaxing dose.
Okay. Okay. This is shown in studies.
Multiple studies are available.
Okay.
Multiple studies are available. The cardiac benefit starts at 18 ml,
Okay.
and after that, there is no further cardiac benefit.
It's not cumulative.
It's not cumulative.
Okay. But nobody I know has half a peg. I mean, that's the point, you see.
Number one. Number two, there is a mention in Vedic sciences, and the mention in Vedic sciences is that anything fermented should not be taken after sunset.
And what is the reasoning for that?
That is released with Ayurvedic philosophy of Vat, Pitta and Kapha.
Okay.
And they say that that in the evening hours, if you take anything undigested, you should not combine
Okay.
a non-fermented with a fermented food,
Okay.
because because of the metabolism
Mhm.
is slow at that particular moment.
Okay.
So if that's so,
Yeah. Yeah.
then we should not be drinking after sunset.
Yes. Yes.
And most of the French studies, French
Yes,
paradox,
yes,
UK,
yes.
they take their supper between 5 to 7 p.m.
Yes. And they actually have the alcohol before the supper, not after.
Before the
Yes,
supper.
Yes. Yes. So, or often with the.
Can that
with
be the
supper.
reason of their showing benefit in the cardiology
Yes,
studies,
very good
because
point.
they are not taking after 7 p.m.?
Yeah, yeah. They actually eat, their food is over by 7 p.m. So, and they have it, even if they have it after the meal, it is still going to be 7:30. It's not going to be 10:30.
Hmm.
Yes.
So here it is not 10:30. It is the pastry is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Yes. Yeah.
So if I have to come out with a guideline,
Yeah.
if I have to come out with a guideline,
Yeah.
is it possible that the cardiologist society, IMA, and
Mhm.
gastroenterologists
Yeah.
will sit together
Mhm.
and define certain things?
I think it's very
Because
important.
there
to
has
know
to be
that.
there has to be a limit on our website.
Yes.
My personal vouch will be,
Yes.
which others may or may not agree,
Yes.
that if you really, actually we should do a study on 18 ml.
Yes.
That is the only dose for relaxation.
That is a great study. Yes.
That is the only dose for
Yeah.
relaxation.
Yeah.
Is 18 ml safe in fatty liver? I don't know.
We don't know. No.
We have no data.
We have no data.
So if you just want alcohol for relaxation,
Yeah.
just have 18 ml.
Yes.
Okay. Then how do I take 18 ml? Second thing comes
Yes,
is, how
yes.
do I take 18 ml?
Yeah.
Okay. Now there are sugary drinks.
Yes.
One of them is, say, Coke or Limca.
Yes.
Coke or Limca is 10 to 11% sugar.
Absolutely. Yeah.
ORS is 2.5% sugar.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So how do I convert Limca into ORS?
ORS, yeah. You dilute it?
I dilute it.
Yes.
So it's the same Limca.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same Limca,
Yeah.
I add soda or water into
Yes,
it
exactly. Yeah.
and dilute it by 1/3.
Yes. Yeah.
That means one Coke or one Limca,
Yeah.
3 people drink.
Yes.
Then it becomes ORS.
Yes.
It becomes a treatment for diarrhea.
Yeah. Yeah.
No more side effects.
Yes.
No more harmful effects.
Yes. Yes. And the sugar content will be very low.
Sugar content will become 2.5
Yeah.
to 3%.
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, in an alcohol,
Hmm.
suppose I take 18 ml of alcohol
Yeah.
and add, say, 120 180 ml of water or
Yes,
soda
yes,
or
yes,
mix.
yes, yeah. If you have a glass of 200 ml, then
Or
80
I
ml
mix
is-
it with diluted Limca.
All right, fine. So if you have a 200 milliliter glass, 20 is the alcohol, or 18 is the alcohol, and 180 is the diluent.
Diluent. Diluent can be a fruit
Yeah.
juice.
Yes, yes.
It can be
Yeah.
anything you like.
Yes, yes.
Anything you like.
Yeah.
And then you enjoy it over a period of 1
Yes,
hour.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Then by the end of 1 hour you will
Yes.
be relaxed.
Yes.
2, you will not be, you will be talking sense.
Yes.
So you will not be afraid of
Yes.
that you are not
Yes, in your senses.
leaking your
Yes.
secrets.
Yes, yes.
You will still enjoy your drink.
Yeah.
Why can't, I mean this is my hypothesis,
Yes.
why can't some of us
Hmm.
really come out with a formula,
Okay.
either do a study or put it as a hypothesis.
Yes, yes.
If cardiologists, because what is happening is, somebody says, my cardiologist says to take 2 drinks.
Okay.
Nobody says, my liver specialist says to do this.
No liver specialist will ever tell you that.
No,
Yeah.
no. See, but then
Hmm.
the message going to the community in the press is,
Yes.
no liver specialist has ever
Has
countered
Okay.
the cardiologist version.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
The very fact you are not counting the cardiologist
Yes.
version,
Yeah.
people will take it as safe.
Yes, yes. True.
Then people, now let's take a couple of questions. I believe alcohol leads to increased eating and can lead to overweight. What is your idea? No. Again, unless it is, if you're taking for relaxation,
Yes, it's fine. But also remember, alcohol is a sugar. So, I mean, alcohol itself can be a cause of obesity. You see, people who have a lot of alcohol are actually consuming a lot of calories. One class.
empty calories.
How much?
Empty calories.
Empty calories. But
There is
yeah,
no
yeah,
other
yeah. So they're
nutritional-
useless. They're useless.
So one thing is very clear is there is no safe limit as far as liver is concerned.
In Indians, because of our fatty liver disease, we should be very careful.
And all
of the
those
safe
people,
limit.
those people who are watching this program shouldn't start.
Yes.
If
yes.
they start, they should restrict it to 18 ml.
If they are, yeah.
18 ml.
Yeah.
And if they drink,
Hmm.
they should reduce. Either they should stop
Yes.
or they should reduce. And if they should want to reduce,
Yes.
try 18 ml.
And also, I think
So-
if you have
so-
the means to do it, get a liver function profile and see what is happening to your
See,
enzymes.
I have a lot of spectacles about the LFT.
I see.
I have my own concerns because
Yes.
the lab varies.
Yes.
Right away, I have a patient whose SGPT
Hmm.
from 3 labs is
Mhm.
40, 80, 120. So it
So
will
what do
give
you
you
do?
a, it
Yeah.
will give you a,
Yes.
why should I tell people to watch their SGPT and then drink?
Yes. Yes.
That means we are telling them that you start taking drinking and when it becomes 40 to 80,
Yeah,
then you stop.
Then you stop. Yeah. Why start at all? Yeah.
No, even if you want to,
Yeah.
even if you want to, stick to 18 ml.
Yes. Yeah. There's no evidence that that will do harm.
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. At least you are reducing your quantity.
Yes.
At least you are reducing your quantity.
Yeah.
Now, another thing, what is the legal definition? Who is responsible for alcoholic parties?
I'm not sure. I would assume the person serving the alcohol
Is
is
responsible.
responsible. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
When I was the DMA president,
Yeah.
he says that the way you are discussing, I feel like taking a peg.
Okay. Good. At least there is a response. Yeah.
So a person was he hosted a party,
Hmm.
and a person, a medical doctor, drank a lot,
I see.
and he came out of the house.
Yeah.
Nobody bothered when he left,
I see.
and he told the drivers, drop me to my house.
Okay.
So drivers, he didn't have a car, so
Uh.
nobody bothered about it. So he went and slept in a ticky.
Oh, I see.
He was over drunk,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, and in the morning he was found dead.
I see.
Because he himself parked himself into the dicky of a car,
Uh-huh.
and then nobody bothered about it. So at 11 o'clock in the morning he was found dead.
Oh,
So the person who hosted the party
yeah.
was arrested. Then it is your responsibility. So the law says that if I am hosting a alcohol party,
Yes.
it is my duty to see
Hmm.
that a person is accompanied by a car, by a driver.
Yeah.
So therefore, if I am hosting a party, I am supposed to take everybody's key with me
Okay.
and don't let them go,
Yeah.
or make arrangement for their car.
Yes.
And now, if you go to pubs,
Yes.
see, I was inquiring about these youngsters, people
Yes.
who go for
Yeah.
a third page party.
Yeah.
So they say there is a service
Yeah.
Delhi.
Yes.
There is a service in Delhi
Yeah.
that is called nighttime drivers available.
Mhm.
Nighttime drivers on call.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after your drink, you call that service.
Yes, yeah.
They will come and drive you
They'll
down
drive you in your own car.
on your own car,
Yes.
and they will drop you
yes,
and go.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
That's a smart service.
Yes,
Whosoever has
absolutely.
started it,
It's a very good idea.
it's
Yeah.
a very good idea.
Yeah.
He has started.
Yeah.
So therefore, the responsibility is for a person who is serving.
Yes. But
Yes,
is that enforced in this country?
Yes. Yes. If there is a complaint, you are arrested
Yeah.
because you are the one who invited him. Other person will say, "I was not in my senses."
Yeah.
Other person will say, "I was served by him."
Yeah.
See, who stops you from see the Norway law?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who stops you from having a that I will not give you more than 2 pets at a time?
The only person stopping you is the person offering it to you.
Offering it.
So if you don't offer it, the person can't have it.
The Jessica cases happens rarely.
Yes.
You can't take that as an
No,
example
no.
that somebody will
Yes.
shoot you
Yeah.
in a social party.
Yeah.
So therefore, it is our duty.
Yeah.
So I'm coming back to say IMA
Yeah.
or ISG.
Okay. Yeah.
Supposing in IMA and ISG,
Yeah.
if we are serving alcohol,
Yeah.
and we should serve it as an example
Yes.
and not offer more than 30 ml
I think that's an excellent idea.
in one go.
Yes. I think that's an excellent idea.
On the contrary, I will say should have a 15 ml of packs. In multiples of 15 ml we serve.
Okay. And not exceed your limit in any case. Yeah.
So somebody to everybody we should serve 15 ml.
Yeah.
And number one. Number two is that we should stop serving alcohol like 15 ml and then give him a choice. We should give him a complete 200 ml or 200 ml of glass full.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything prepared.
Already diluted.
It's already diluted.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what he will do is he will add more alcohol.
Yes.
So I don't know whether it is feasible or not.
No, but it's a good thought. It's if you are thinking of out of the box solutions, this is a very good out of the box solution. And also remember, if you have a full 200 milliliter glass, it's very difficult to drink it in 1 minute. It's very easy to drink 20 ml in 1 minute.
Yes, absolutely.
So you will have to spend longer drinking it.
Just there's one more question. SG are only collaborative investigation. No, SGOT, SGPT are important, but then I still say that precautions, universal precautions are more important than that. Is there any alternative to, say for example, there is a herbal smoking.
Yes.
There is an alternative
Yes,
to
yes.
tobacco.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you can have say some people say I'm addicted to nicotine.
Yes.
Somebody says I'm addicted to smoke.
Yeah.
And you have a herbal smoking.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything
I
alternative
am
to
not,
alcohol?
no, I'm not aware. I mean, one option is to reduce the alcohol percentage of commonly drunk items like beer, for example. Do not have anything like strong beer. If beer remains 5%, the big advantage of beer is...
See, what happens with beer is, when you take a beer,
Yeah.
then he will take beer one full bottle.
Yes, that is true.
Then he is ultimately taking the same
amount. Yeah,
same
but it's
amount.
difficult to have too much of beer because there's a volume issue. Drinking 1 liter is not easy. So, whereas if you drink 1 liter of 10% alcohol, that is doubling your risk. So, suppose you were to reduce the alcohol percent of all drinks, at least to some extent it will make a difference. Not a huge extent, but to some extent it will matter. And they did try this in some countries, banning the use of high concentrate beers particularly, because see, whiskey everybody knows is strong and people accept it. People have this feeling even in India that beer is not much of a drink. That is not true. Beer causes as much liver disease as anything else because the volumes you drink are much higher. You will negate that feeling if you actually produce strong beer. Then you are having the same volume and double the quantity of alcohol, which is a very...
So let me say that if I say 18 ml of whiskey,
Yeah.
6 grams
Yeah.
of whiskey,
Yes.
that beer will be 5%.
Yes.
5%.
Yes.
So 100 ml of beer
Will have 5
will have
grams.
5 grams.
Yeah.
So you can have 100 ml of beer.
Yes, absolutely. But an average amount of, and a can of beer will be anything from 375 milliliters to the standard bottle, which is 750 up to a liter. So that means you're actually having 1/3 of a 300 ml bottle. Now that's not bad, but you must be aware of that, and you can't go beyond 1/3.
And in women, the drink has to be less than
Yes,
whatever
it
is there, half.
Half to 2/3 is the conventional guidelines. I think I'm more comfortable with half than with 2/3.
What about beer? What about alcohol hangover?
Alcohol hangover.
Again, people take a lot of paracetamol. People take.
I think alcohol hangover has many etiologies. One of the major one is actually dehydration. So if someone has a severe alcohol hangover, the best is actually drink fluids. Paracetamol at that point is probably one of the safer drugs. It's certainly safer than aspirin.
Not in women.
Not well, yeah, but it's safer than someone has a severe headache. You have to give them something. It's safer than ibuprofen and safer than many other NSAIDs certainly. I think the best remedy for a hangover is prevention. But if it's there, just plain fluids often works better than anything else. This is a hugely dehydrated state, and the brain will get much better. Now, what NSAIDs what analgesia do you suggest in a hangover?
No, I would say paracetamol,
Just
but
paracetamol
but
in
not
less.
regularly.
Yeah.
Only one tablet sat.
One
not
tablet
as-
stat, that's enough.
That's enough.
And that
Not-
should work. It should work, and also
Not
time.
as three times a day or four times a day.
And also give it time. The alcohol will metabolize. We know the rate it metabolizes. Within 12 hours in the morning, you will actually be better. And let it be a warning that your body cannot deal with so much. How did it benefit someone to get a hangover and get drunk? I mean, it's like this poor gentleman who died. He got no benefit from the alcohol. And if you're saying the social benefit is limited to 18 grams, then beyond that is a waste. It's an economic waste.
6 gram, 18 ml.
Yeah, 18 ml, 6 grams. Then it's an economic waste and it's also a physical destruction.
So what about driving?
I think the evidence is that there are limits in all countries, and what does a limit tell us? It does tell us that even in the West, if someone's blood alcohol limit is below a certain level, then their capacity to drive is not impaired. These limits are not absolute. It doesn't happen that suddenly at a certain level you get impaired and below 1 milligram below you're not. So clearly it's a range.
The formula is that 1 pack 1 hour.
1 drink per hour. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
1 pack, don't drive for 1 hour
Yes,
after that.
yes.
Once you finish your alcohol,
Yes.
don't drive for 1 hour.
1 hour.
If you have taken
Yes.
4 packs, don't
Then
drive for 4 hours.
Which doesn't happen. True. Or get someone to drive for you. In this country, that is an option available. So,
But then the formula people can
Yes,
remember
yes,
that,
absolutely.
that if you
Yeah.
have taken a pack, then
Yeah.
don't drive for more than a...
Yeah. That's a good simple formula. Yeah.
Okay. Now, say for example, I have no answer. So if I take suppose if I take red grapes
Yes.
and try to make my own alcohol.
Okay.
So I take a
Yeah.
grape juice
Yeah.
and over that I put a smashed
Yeah.
grapes into it
Yes.
and keep it for 2 days.
Yes.
Can this be, and I know this will not produce enough alcohol because I'm not being able to ferment it, process it,
properly,
other
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Will that be a...
I'm actually very scared of these homemade brews because in the West the evidence has been that people who make their own beer and they have more alcohol and their own alcohol, sometimes the alcohol percentages are much higher than you think they are. And the feeling is I made it in the house, it can't be very dangerous. That feeling is wrong. Since we cannot measure alcohol concentrations,
We shouldn't.
I don't think it should be done.
And what about that desi alcohol which they make?
The desi alcohol also is ultimately it is ethanol. It's being produced from commercial grade ethanol that is diluted with other things, some of which are not very safe.
No, I'm talking about people who make it from the trees and everything.
But the procedure is the same.
Sari.
Yeah, look, ultimately it comes down to what is the alcohol, the concentration of pure ethanol in that liquid. It doesn't matter where the production came from. So none of these are safe.
Is
I think
alcohol
this is a
used?
very good point that you raised. Let us stick to absolute alcohol quantities.
What is methyl versus ethyl alcohol?
Well, methyl, as we know, is a dangerous poison, so it's used only to make sure it's not drunk. But both of us have seen patients who have consumed this and have got eye damage and have died.
In what condition alcohol is used as a drug?
The only
Medicinal
condition
value,
that,
but
the major medicinal
let's forget
value-
about prevention of heart disease.
Yes, okay. Well, the major value really is people with methyl alcohol poisoning, in which alcohol diverts the metabolic pathway from the methanol into ethyl alcohol, so the methanol byproducts, which are the dangerous part, actually do not occur. So that is a recognized, genuine method of treating methanol poisoning. I'm not aware of any other disease in which alcohol
So
is
in methyl poisoning also, is
Yeah.
it whiskey or is it beer?
No, what you're using.
No, as a treatment.
You need alcohol, it doesn't matter really what makes a difference. I'm not aware of any study.
Percentage, I'm talking about the least
You
percentage
have-
of the...
No, you need to actually calculate per hour how much it is. And there are formulas for doing that, and you can give that, and it can be given.
What about de-addiction? Suppose somebody says that I want to de-addict myself,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
And he doesn't want to go, he wants to reduce.
yes.
What are the ways to reduce? So one way of reducing is from 30 ml to half a pack,
Yes. Reduce the volume.
reduce the volume, or shift from wine to, from whiskey to wine,
Yes.
and wine to beer,
Yes.
same amount,
Yes, absolutely.
same ml.
Same ml, yeah.
So
That's a
the
good way.
percentage
Yes, yeah.
goes down.
Yeah.
Any study of alcohol in children and fatty liver?
No, I'm not aware, but children are not legally supposed to have alcohol, so there's no ethical
Is there a
study
bar?
that-
Is there a bar?
No, you're
Not
not
supposed to
supposed
buy it.
You're not supposed to buy it. Well, technically, you don't really give it to
No,
children. There are many societies that do it.
I just what I mean, I'm not
I
aware
don't
that
know. I'm not aware there's a legal.
if a child is being found drinking alcohol
in his own home.
in his own home, then in that case, those movies where it was shown that a child was picked up and he was, instead of milk, he was given
Yes.
alcohol.
Yeah.
There has been a UN
Yes. No, I'm sure it causes damage. There's no studies. There's not enough volumes of people. But look, why do we prohibit children from buying alcohol? Because it may harm them. You know, they're not. So why should we give it to them in the first place?
Why beer leads to obesity is very clear because it's an empty
It has
calories.
calories. It is just calories.
It's a calorie and it's basically a fermented sugar.
Yes.
It's basically a fermented
I
sugar.
mean, you can just have 8 spoons of sugar also, and the glucose will make you fat.
So we have a couple of minutes left. So let's give us some tips about fatty liver again.
Okay, so fatty liver disease, once again, what are the causes? The causes.
Let me before that, let me say that most of the studies say that alcohol in terminal illness, yes, people are talking about giving alcohol in a patient with a terminal illness disease
As a
social
relaxant?
drinking, as a relaxant.
Yes, yeah.
As a relaxant.
Yeah.
The question which comes is which is better relaxant, 18 ml of alcohol or a tablet of Alprax or a tablet of diazepam or a tablet of or a drug. When it's given a choice between suppose you say that I don't relax without taking an Alprax in the evening,
Yeah.
and in that case if there is no contraindication,
Yes. And it's a terminal illness.
and if it is a terminal illness,
Yes.
there is no harm in
Yes,
taking
yes,
it.
yes, yeah.
And we have seen many nursing homes across the world, studies are available. In terminal illness, they calculate the amount of alcohol to be given for a person to relaxation.
Yes.
Alcohol is related to less heart attack, less stroke, reduced mortality, but that all is Western studies. We don't have an Indian study which talks about that. And then if you take a lot of alcohol, it can precipitate sudden cardiac death.
Yes.
It can precipitate heart attack. It can precipitate stroke. Now, let's revise about the alcohol in liver.
Yeah.
So again, I only want to concentrate is that give us 5, 6, 7 points about general public beware of fatty liver.
Okay. Well, why do we beware of fatty liver? First of all, what causes fatty liver? We have 4 well-known causes. Number 1 is diabetes. Number 2 is excessive alcohol. Number 3 is overweight, including people with normal weight and an increased waist circumference. I would consider them to be overweight. And number 4, people whose blood cholesterol and triglycerides and LDLs are raised.
I slightly add that for me it is refined carbs.
Yeah.
If you take refined carbohydrates,
You are heading to all these things.
you are heading to all these things.
Yes.
Then if you see our Rishi Munis,
Yeah.
they knew India is a fatty liver disease prone country. So in our Vedic sciences, they very clearly mention their do's and don'ts for Indians.
Okay.
And they have said that 80 days in a year, you will not eat cereals.
I see.
You will not eat gehu.
Okay.
So once in a week fast.
Yeah.
Fast means no cereals on that day.
So 50 days, 52 days out anyway.
Out.
Yeah.
One Ekadashi fast.
Yeah.
Okay, and 9 plus 9 Navratras. And they all mixed together
Yeah.
comes out to be approximately 80.
Yeah.
So they say that if you are going to eat carbs every day, you are going to end up into a condition called Anna Dosh.
Okay.
Whether Anna Dosh they meant celiac, I don't know.
We don't know.
Whether they meant fatty liver, I don't know.
Yeah.
The mention is that if you are going to eat carbohydrate every day,
Yeah.
the disease mentioned in our Vedic sciences is called Anna Dosh. And for me, that Anna Dosh is metabolic syndrome.
Yes, metabolic syndrome.
Is metabolic syndrome. So
Yeah.
therefore, our ancestors very clearly have told us
Yes.
that we are not supposed to eat carbs every day.
Yes.
And we have now not only eating carbs every day,
Yeah.
we have shifted from complex to refined.
Yes.
And that's the reason we are ending
Yes.
up into an epidemic.
Yes.
Epidemic. So therefore, those people who want to take for social drinking,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm coming back to them.
Yeah.
That if that, then you follow that formula of 80 days of
Yes, if you
carbohydrate.
want to relax yourself, then have the quantity you need to relax yourself. Having twice that is not going to increase the relaxation according to
No,
these
no,
studies.
I'm going back to
Yeah.
something different. I'm going back. 80 days in a year, don't take carb.
Okay.
And if you want to take carb,
Yeah.
and then 80 days in a year,
Hmm.
you can take alcohol as a carb.
Okay. Yes.
but not on those 80 days.
Yes,
So when you are fasting
yes,
on that
yes,
day.
yes.
So what we are talking about is that if you don't take carb,
Yeah.
you may not develop metabolic syndrome.
Yes.
If you don't have metabolic syndrome, you will
Yeah.
not have high sugar, you
Yes,
will not have
yeah.
high TG, your
Yeah.
dermis saccharum will not come.
Yes.
Then safe alcohol limit may be
Yes.
permissible here.
Yes. Yes. Because then you're talking about 1.5 drinks per week, if it's 80 days in a year, approximately. Okay.
I normally say is that when do you want to relax?
Hmm.
You only want to
Yeah.
relax on your weekend.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you are Saturday, Sunday, if you
Yeah.
want to enjoy 18
Yeah.
ml on Saturday,
Yeah.
18 ml on Sunday,
And that's it. Yeah.
and then 80 days in a year you are not taking carbs.
In any case, yeah.
You are not taking
Yeah,
carbs.
yeah.
In that particular situation, you may be able to
Yes.
enjoy your drinks. Otherwise, forget
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But then the message shouldn't go is that you stop alcohol and start taking drugs
Start taking drugs, yeah.
or
Absolutely.
start taking
Yeah.
smoking.
Yeah.
No, relaxation is required.
Yes.
Best way to relax is pranayam.
Yeah.
Best way to
Yes.
relax is pranayam. That is parasympathetic
Mhm.
breathing. And best way to relax is meditation
Yeah.
or getting absorbed in what you like to
Yes.
work, meditative working.
Yes.
But not alcohol, not
Yeah.
smoking, and not other things.
Yeah. Yeah. Mindful meditation and
Mindfulness meditation. Be in the present, whatever you are
Yes.
concentrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So concentrating on the object of concentration
Yes.
and giving preference to object of concentration over
Yes.
the thoughts is what mindfulness
Yeah.
meditation is. With that. So with that, let's sum up. Again, today is 31st of December, and we picked up this issue was that don't say that at least once in a year let me drink, let me make merry, and let me try it out today. If you don't drink, if you do, but if you want to drink and you are a social drinker, at least for today, just try it 18 ml. And with 180 ml of whatever you want as a diluent, and see how wonderful the new year will be. If you take more than that, you will not remember tomorrow morning what happened in the night.
Yes, absolutely.
That's all for today. We'll come back next Thursday with one more show. Till that, goodbye. Let's thank Rajiv for a wonderful show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a happy new year to you.